OtraXFavor. This is one more, please. ¿Qué onda? Hope you guys are doing well. You guys are enjoying your holiday break. And here they call it Guadalupe Reyes. This is going to be in English. I usually do everything in Spanish, or most of the stuff I've done recently is in Spanish. It actually surprised me because the guest that I have wanted to do the recording in English. So there's a, before we go into the story of Jorge Antonio López Mendicuti, aquí en el barrio se le conoce como López Mendicuti, I want to throw a couple of flowers. This is going to be quick. Give me 5-10 minutes. So I'm not in the studio. I'm, in the roof of the Airbnb where we're staying at in La Roma. Behind me is the beautiful Reforma, and I'm, it's a special thing for me to do and record in this amazing, beautiful city. Hope you guys get a chance to visit it. Y sí, también para los que están celebrando el Guadalupe Reyes, salud, un besito. So, let's go into the flowers. I want to say thank you to several people. I want to say thanks to my wife, for her always showing the love and support as a spouse. Thank you for being amazing. Thanks to my family. Ahí se la están rifando. I know when I came in, when I flew in on the 16th, that's when my uncle passed away that evening. So anyone that reached out and, wished their condolences, thank you. I appreciate it. Let's get un chingo. Thanks to now I'm going to my circle, my círculo in Austin. I want to say thanks to let's start with Rigo. My boy. He's been helping me with Otra for quite a while, since the beginning of last year and up into the end of this year. So he's a critical thinker, loves the culture, loves everything about Austin FC related, and sometimes we sit down or we talk about the episodes, what we're going to record about, or even just have conversations about life, and that a lot of times translates to the platform. So thank you, Rigo, for being part of it. I really appreciate you. Also, thanks to Duke, because he's done amazing work. He's someone that subconsciously helps you creatively, and then always willing to be up, do like cover you sometimes at the last minutes, or travel to events. He did a couple of those this year. One was with Mike Towers, and then also went to the Coachella Invitational. So appreciate that, man. Carol did a couple of shows this year, so thank you. Every creative out in Austin, I'm not gonna say names because I will forget and I'll probably be feeling bad about it. But everyone out there, just thank you for collaborating, for coming to share your perspective, your story in the platform, the friends as well. Also, everyone that reached out, who wanted to share their story this year, thank you. This is what OtraXFavor has always been about for me, is to welcome people to come and talk and share their craft, share what they're about. So it's amazing that you guys reach out to me to coordinate a recording. Any creative out there that that is doing something, there's a reason why I'm doing this recording at the end of the year, and I hope this what we talk about in this episode with Lopez Mendicuti sort of motivates you to do something. Especially if you have a media outlet that you're covering, whether it's music, whether it's Austin FC, Houston, Dallas, whichever team, wherever you're listening from. If you have, I would say, already a platform and you're wanting to cover, just go ahead and do the credential. You might get it denied, a couple of times, but as you continue to put in the work, you'll eventually get approved. And work for that seat, work for that space that you belong to as a content creator. Sometimes some of us do it not for money, some do it for money, they get monetized. Some of us, we monetize different ways, but at the end of the day, your work is your work, and that's the most valuable thing that you have. It's your own work, your own, hustle. I have a thing that says chamba, hala chamba. So go and do what you want to do this year. Like execute on whatever plan you have, whatever you want to do when it comes to even your job. Like, I don't know, whatever business you want to start. Be smart about it too. And connecting to why I chose to record with Jorge López Mendicuti, is because he's done some amazing work when it comes to stand-up comedy as a photographer in Mexico. So check out his story, check out what he's about. And if you you have funds to buy the book, reach out to him and buy it. Sorry, there's a motorcycle just passed by. And there's a bunch of noise in the city, which is I love. If you come to Mexico City and it's loud, Kyle, it's beautiful. But yeah, and I hope his story motivates you to do something, because what he did is just like he started with a simple request, and right now he's doing something amazing, or he's done amazing stuff, and he's planning to do more amazing things. Why do I say the word amazing? Well, it's just because I love amazing work. I thrive on seeing everyone do amazing things, and I think if you're if you enjoy the work of others, it motivates you to do more in your own work. So that's I probably a lot of the times compliment people a lot because of they do good shit in whatever they do in their craft. But changing the story back to Lopez Mendicuti, check out the recording. I will do a quick outro at the end of this episode. By the way, if you're seeing this after New Year's, Happy New Year's. And if you're seeing this before New Year's, which the episode might release either Monday the 30th or Tuesday the 31st, because fuck the algorithm and I do whatever I want, Happy New Year's. Y si no, que le bailen. Bueno, nos vamos al ratito. Salud. Hola y bienvenidos a otro episodio de Otra, por favor.
Yeah.
Hoy es algo diferente. Hoy, como lo ven, no estoy en el estudio como lo hago regularmente o en Hub Squad. Estoy en la Ciudad de México, en la ciudad que me vio nacer. Y tengo la fortuna de estar con una, leyenda en cuanto a la fotografía, porque él ha cubierto bastantes eventos, bastantes shows. Imagino que muchos comediantes que ustedes han visto en televisión, en Netflix o cualquier plataforma que ven su comedia, él los ha visto desde el principio. Él ha capturado imágenes desde que ellos empezaron hasta ahorita, que vamos a hablar un poquito de eso, pero vamos a hablar más de su historia. Aquí conmigo tengo a Carlos López Mendicuti, pero tu nombre completo es...
Jorge Antonio
López
Mendicuti. Pero pues todo el mundo me dice Mendicuti, ya. Ya es como... fuck it, ¿no?
¿Y por qué no? Sí.
Pues sí, es el que se les queda, porque como que López es de... Somos muchos.
Bastantes.
Sí, Mendicuti sea un poquito más exótico, que piensan que es italiano, pero es de Campeche de apellido. Sí.
Lo que te iba a preguntar, pero gracias por contestar esa pregunta, porque una duda que tenía, dije Mendicuti, se escucha acá burguesón, pero de Campeche.
Qué madre.
Sí. Y bueno, voy a hacer una breve introducción en inglés. For everybody that is listening to this episode, it's going to be in Spanish. As you guys know, this platform was to cover stories and, pretty much anything that has to do with soccer, life, and culture in Austin. But however, we are in Mexico City today, the place where I'm born. So I'm honored to be here recording with Jorge Antonio López Mendicuti.
It's just that he is thinking about Carlos Vallarta, so
un besote
it's on your mind and on your heart.
Yes, indeed. Pero... Yeah, and this episode for me is gonna take things to another level because now I've always wanted to do something here, so the fact that we're doing it today, it means a lot. And I'm back and actually vacationing in Mexico City, which is great.
Quite a holiday.
Yes, quite a holiday. So looking forward to it.
For an earthquake as well.
Ándale, también.
So you get the full experience.
So that's what I told my wife. Like, you're gonna have a mix of a lot of things. Get into the airport with a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
And then for sure you're gonna get sick of your stomach from all the food that we're gonna eat.
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't get an earthquake. But if it happens, it's part of the show.
Well, you get the roast and then you get to run for your life. So 2 for 1.
2 for 1. 2 for 1.
Sounds quite like a good fucking deal.
And I have a question. How do you know very good English?
Pokemon.
Oh, see?
Yeah. Pokemon. That's it. That's the fucking secret.
Pokemon?
Yeah. You just get your autistic kid a Game Boy, a couple of Eagles CDs, Greatest Hits Volume 2, one of the best, and Pokemon, and that's it. And actually, my parents, they used to, back in the day, go to the US like once a year, maybe twice a year, and they got me Disney movies.
Okay.
They just didn't know they were in English. And I used to watch Disney movies in English, play Pokemon, and listen to the Eagles. That's it.
That's how I learned English, watching TV in English when I went to the States.
It depends. What kind of shows did you watch?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay. So you know the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap both in Spanish and English.
No, I would say, I don't want to say yes and then I mess it up, so no.
En Filadelfia yo nací, crecí, con goma de basquera y basquetera feliz. Siempre tranquilo, sin prisa ni nada, nada de escuela instalada. Everyone born in Mexico in the 90s knows that fucking song.
I now you put me in a place where I need to learn it so I can be more part of it.
yeah, because that song slaps as much as the guy who sings it.
Yes, it's a very good song and it's also a very good show. I think it resembles a lot of how like a lot of people live and they have that vision of where they want to be or they're in that place and they're like, how can I deal with this new change where everything's good but I'm coming from a place where Philadelphia.
Yeah, I know. I mean, coming from Oaxaca, getting to Querétaro, it was like going to Bel-Air. Yeah.
Basically.
Basically.
You see La Reforma y El Ángel.
Yeah, it's just the same.
Sí. Pero I want to first ask you, you live in Querétaro right now, which, by the way, thank you he just literally arrived from Querétaro this morning. So thank you.
And I'm hungry and sleepy.
Hungry. So we're going to go get some tacos after this.
Maybe, because I might get the runs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
El chorro. Chole de la barra de la mano.
Ay, fucking chorro in carretera is the worst.
Yeah. But, yeah, one thing that I wanted to ask you is, before we go into, photography, the book, I want to ask you about your life.
Yeah.
This book is amazing, by the way. I just saw the whatchamacallit, what is going to be a masterpiece when it comes to photography.
I hope so.
Like, if you have the book People of New York in your home, it is going to be very similar. Or in Austin, if you have the book Urban Art, it's going to be very similar.
I hope so, because dollars, I like them.
Yeah, me too. We all do. And if you guys get a chance to check it out and, see it here, and you guys love stand-up comedy, like, this is like, he created all this, and he put it all together, so we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, first I want to ask you, the first question I have to every guest is, where are you originally from, and how did your childhood shape the person you are today?
Oh, fuck, my childhood. Pokemon, Eagles, Disney movies.
Nice.
In Salina Cruz, Oaxaca. No, actually, my childhood was pretty fucked up. I mean, I was born with a lot of respiratory diseases,
okay.
Asthma. I was born allergic to a lot of shit. I was allergic to rice, eggs, dust. Pretty much, I was allergic to life.
Basically, everybody knows that.
Yeah, basically. So, apart from that, I had a problem on my hips. Not like the good problem like Shakira, but,
Where you couldn't move them.
Yeah, I mean, I could, but like this. So I was, for all the photography fans out there, I was like Dutch angle my whole fucking life. at least at the beginning. So I was a pretty sick kid.
Okay.
And my uncles, I have a huge family. We were like 450 family members.
Shoo.
Yeah, my great-grandfather had 21 children.
From the same lady?
No, he was quite a ladies' man.
See?
I mean, he had 8 with his first wife, 12 with his second wife, and he went out one night and had another kid with a third one.
Just because.
Yeah, because he was horny. Yeah, I guess. There wasn't a lot of stuff to do in the early 1900s. So we have a lot of family members, and all of my uncles remember that I used to believe I was a dog. So I used to bark for like a year or two, and my dad didn't know what to do with that. So I used to think of myself as a dog. Why? I don't know. I was 2 years old, man.
So you grew up with a creative mind of your own.
Yeah.
Imagination.
Yeah, and no dog color. I was a pretty street dog, a bitch, you might say. And I didn't talk a lot.
Okay.
So it was weird because most of the time, my first years, maybe 3-4 years, my first 3-4 years, I used to go to the hospital a lot. I always got sick. I always had problems breathing, as you can hear right now. So I got myself into video games, books, and music. So that's all I knew. That's all I cared about. That's all I could feel connected to. And it was pretty harsh because not a lot of kids at that age like that. So everyone was playing football or running and such, and I was just listening to music, looking at stuff. I love to look at books. I love to grab CDs and open the booklets and look at the lyrics and try to decipher what they were saying. And as I grew older, I connected a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So I could recognize some words because, I mean, I was in a nice school, nice for my hometown, but the English teacher was so bad.
Sí.
Like, so fucking bad. I mean, teacher Ariel, I loved you, but you sucked. Yeah.
Wherever you are.
Yeah, wherever you are, you suck.
Merry Christmas, but you suck.
Yeah, I hope you're still alive, though. I haven't seen you in quite a while. Hope you're alive.
Are you guys still friends?
Nah, fuck that. The last time I saw him was maybe like 18 years ago.
Sí.
He was hitting on some kids.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
He's probably in jail right now.
Yeah, he was gay.
Getting what he deserved.
Just in case you didn't notice, he was gay. He was cool, though.
Yeah.
Hi, teacher Ariel.
Wherever you're at.
Yeah. I hope you're not in someone else's ass.
I hope, what they say in the U.S., I hope you don't drop the soap.
Yeah. Or if you like to drop soap, drop a jabonzote. So you get fucked properly.
Jabonzote, this is, shout out and thank you for the sponsorship.
Yeah, I hope. They do a pretty good job with your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, jabonzote.
See?
Trust me.
I need some in my life.
Hair or jabon? Or both. So then I grew older and I leaned into music, guitar at 14. At 15, I moved from Oaxaca to Querétaro because if you wanted to get into a good university, you had to go before the test. So you had to do either a good preparation in your hometown or you had to go to a nice high school. So you had 3 years to get ready. And then I went into law school, which I fucking hated it. I still do. I fucking hate law school.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a nice time.
You do have a look like you could be a good attorney.
No.
But like say the good attorney that would like be mean, but will get you out of jail.
Yeah, but we'll be poor. Because I hate liars. So fuck that. And as I was at law school, I got into photography. So I got into photography like pretty late. Maybe I was 19 or 21. In between those years, I began shooting musicians, and they had a lot of ego, so fuck them. And then I got to meet comedians, and years later they got a lot of ego, so fuck them too. But I like, at least they make me laugh.
Yeah, that's one thing.
So if you don't like someone, but they make you laugh, you give them.
That's what my wife tells me all the time. I don't like you, but you make me laugh.
Sorry, honey.
What can I say?
And that was pretty much my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went and you were going to law school.
Yeah.
You hated it.
I still do.
Yeah. Which do you remember which show you first captured?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how was that experience for you? And how were those images? Like, do you know, like, how was that for you? Because it's probably the first time ever you got into a.
We got them here, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because Gon Curiel was the first comedian that I ever shot. Because I was a huge fan of stand-up comedy, but the only stand-up comedy that I knew was either in English, you know, George Carlin, Pablo Francisco, Gabriel Iglesias, Jerry Seinfeld, Joan Rivers, all that stuff from the 70s, 80s. And anything I could find on YouTube when the maximum length of a video was like 5 minutes, I think. So I saw a lot of bits. I didn't get to watch a full show until later on. And in Mexico we had Polo Polo, Adal Ramones, Humores de los Comediantes, which, they still make me laugh, especially Adal Ramones. I've been watching a lot of the monologues lately because a lot of fans had them on VHS and they are, you know, getting those VHS
and they're
tapes
distorted
into digital.
and YouTube,
Yeah. It's fucking amazing because Televisa is not even trying to, push it or preserve it, which sucks because I'm a big fan of preservation and documentation, as you can see. And I began to use Twitter, X, fuck X, it's Twitter.
Fuck you.
Yeah. So I used to follow Gon Curiel on Twitter, and he posted a tweet that said, "Oh, guys, we're going to have a stand-up comedy show for the first time in Querétaro.
Okay.
We are coming from Mexico City to Querétaro, and Héctor Suárez Gómez is going to be the headliner," which I'm not a big fan of his, but I was curious to see stand-up comedy in Spanish live. So he did like a small contest, and I won 2 tickets. And I told him on Twitter, "Oh, thank you for the tickets, but is it possible that I can bring my camera with me?
Yeah.
Because I really want to, you know, witness this and have a documentation of this." For me, it was a Canon 1000D, $150 camera.
Okay.
Pretty shitty. Still shitty to this day. The worst camera possible I had at the time, but that's what I had at the time.
Yeah. Like they say, you got what you got.
Yeah, and I got shit.
You shoot with what you got.
Yeah, and I shoot shit, so I'm sorry. But actually, that first photo is the first photo of the book. There's this one.
Okay. With Gon Curiel.
Yeah, Gon Curiel.
And Gon Curiel, I think a lot of people that don't know, is a lot of comedians in Mexico were part of he taught him about comedy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because actually, Gon Curiel, on that show, he opened that show along with Mau Jalife and Jurgen Jacobo, and those 2 guys used to write for Otro Rollo with Adal Ramones and a couple of comedy series for Televisa. I think they were La Secu and Familia de Diez, and some sketches. So they knew a lot about comedy, and Gon was really into comedy, so they taught him the how to. And at the same time, Héctor Suárez Gómez was teaching other people about stand-up comedy. And on her side, Sofía Niño de Rivera was taking stand-up comedy lessons, I think, in Texas and New York.
Okay.
I'm not sure if those 2 states, but
she kind of has the money to go and do that, you know.
Yeah, and God bless her, because those 3 people, each one on their own way and with their own, money, economy, and time, were able to teach a lot of the different people that were part of the first wave of stand-up comedy. Because back in the day, Comedy Central was just getting into Mexico, and if you had 10 minutes, you would be on TV.
Yeah.
Because there were no comedians back then. Some of them were not as deserving, but I mean, you shoot with what you got.
Yeah. Like your canon.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and they did.
Yeah.
And from that day on, I asked Gon, do you think that I could come to every show you guys have? Because they were doing these shows on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. in a small theater called El Teatrito in Querétaro. And tickets were between 50 and 100 pesos, which would be
$5.
$5
Yeah.
in today's money. And Gon was like, okay, sure. If you bring your camera and give us the photos, I will give you 2 tickets, one for you and one for a friend for free every Wednesday. And on those first months, this was August 2012. From August till December, I saw on that small theater, Sofía Niño de Rivera, El Cojo Feliz, Gon Curiel, Jurgen, Mau, Manchita, Juan Carlos Escalante, Rodolfo Rivapagaso de Gatriste, which is the guy that created Huevo Cartoon. And a lot of comedians, Manuna, Gloria Rodriguez, Hector Garcia. Some of you might not recognize these names, but these names are the foundation for stand-up comedy in Mexico. And from then on, whenever they went, I was there for free, fuckers. You're welcome. Yeah. And that's what got us into this and my career, basically.
Yeah. So coming in, seeing how they grow as comedians, but also seeing how your photography improves, gets better.
Yeah.
What is something that when you first capture, you're looking at a comedian in a set, what are the one thing that you're like, okay, this is what I'm trying to get? Like, this has to be like the money shot.
Well, I first have to like the person.
Okay.
Because if I fucking hate the guy, I don't take the pictures. I mean, we all want the people that we admire to be nice. Not all of them are. Some of them are assholes. Sorry. Some of you are here. Some of you were such assholes that you didn't want to be here. It's okay. But at first, it was the stage. You know, get to know the routine. And when I first saw them, every time I see a comedian for the first time, it's kind of difficult, or at least it was difficult back in the day, because I didn't know the kind of humor, or if they were these kind of comedians that use a lot of body language, or that are very expressive. Let's take Carlos Vallarta.
He's not expressive.
He's not expressive. He's always wearing glasses. He's always going like this. And he might walk a feet or two every now and then, but you gotta work with that.
Yeah.
And other comedians are doing a lot of physical comedy, but it might surprise you that they are not always the funniest.
Because by movements, a lot of times I feel like it's kind of like, how would I say, sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
And
I mean, everyone has their own charm. Not all of them are charming. Some of them are working on their material. So I just try to take the person, not the comedian, the person into the photo and make a portrait. Not a photo, a portrait. And when I got bored with the stage, I went backstage. That's where I find life. That's where I find connection. Because the stage, we can all see the stage.
But it's the behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, the best.
Yeah.
The birthday parties. Let's go get some dinner. Let's go get some breakfast. And I was there with my camera, and they were comfortable. I think something that happens between me and people is that for some fucking strange reason that I still don't fully understand, people open up to me. They always do. they don't find it strange that there's a little guy from Oaxaca with a camera in front of them. And that has been, I think, my biggest virtue, is that I just try to leave things the way they are and just snap them for documentation. Because, I mean, the idea of this book came from Tío Robert in 2019, and I began shooting in 2012. So for 7 years, there was no notion of doing a book. Maybe a gallery, maybe a show, a photo show, which I did, and I sold 3 photos.
Yeah.
Fuck you. But
I know that feeling.
yeah, we all know, we all do. But I just didn't know if this was going to disappear from one day to another, and I've always been afraid of forgetting things, forgetting people, forgetting sounds, forgetting tastes, forgetting sensations. So it's like a fucking disease inside my head that I don't want to forget anything. So that's why when I meet someone special or that makes me feel something, not precisely love, but something so strong, I want that to be there forever. Maybe for me to get back to it, maybe for other people to see, but I have to think about it, take a photo about it, talk about it. And it sucks.
Yeah.
But it's here and it's sincere. And that's what I like about photography. That's what I like about comedy, because comedy makes us feel here, present. Sometimes in a movie, you can get lost on your phone. You can look away. You can miss a scene. Sometimes in music, you just wander away. But if you want to get the laugh, you gotta pay attention. You gotta be there. You gotta be present. You gotta connect with the others, even if you don't watch their faces, even if you don't know their names. We all need to laugh at the same time. And it's a contract that everybody signs, but nobody reads. It just happens.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. And that's what a lot of people don't fucking get.
Yeah.
This goes beyond fame. This goes beyond recognition. This goes beyond a lot of things. This is art. This is love. This is laughter. This is pain. This is fucking life. And it fucking sucks.
And that, so you're going into a one thing that is not even like in the questions, but you're like you said, you know, in order for you to understand like what's going on in a show, like it's different when you're watching it from Netflix. Like for me, all of the comedians that I've seen, I got to see a couple of them in person, and the feeling of it is different when you're seeing them there than when you see them in a, you know, Netflix or whatever. But like as a photographer, you know, you get to see whenever there's a comedian that has a bad day, and then you can see it when they're having a good day, and then from that you can see, you know, depending on how his day is, how he connect with the crowd and everything. But a lot of times, even, you know, Mexico, we all know like a lot of things in Mexico are not right, but there's one thing that we Mexicans have is that we know how to laugh.
Yeah.
And we know how to have fun. So I think seeing someone that comes in with a shitty day and then go to the show and laugh, I mean, that's literally makes up the culture right there. That makes up like what it's all about at the end of the day. You want to laugh. You want to have a good time.
Yeah, that's why everyone used to watch El Chavo or Héctor Suárez, or that's why comedy happens at night. That's why the shows are at night. That's why we want to see them at night, because even if we had a shitty day, at the end of the day, we just want to laugh about it. Get over it. Be happy for at least the last 60 minutes of the fucking 12-hour shifts, or the shitty day at school, or the shitty day at job, or the shitty day on the streets. That's why the shows happen at night, because we need that positivity at the end of it all.
You want to go home and go to sleep thinking like, oh man, I had a good day, laughing about this like guy that was talking about his life, which I relate to.
Exactly.
And a lot of it's relatable too. And like a lot of. I mean, I think of stand-up comedy at times, an anecdote. You know, you're sharing your life story to someone, and you want them to laugh because of their tragedies.
Yeah, because you try to connect. Comedy is connection. Because, I mean, how can I cry about this Queen of England that is suffering because she's a widow and her kingdom is falling apart? The way I can connect with the Queen of England is because she's crying about the people that are losing their lives in World War II. Mm-hmm. And the way her family is being disintegrated from within. So how can we connect with one of the most powerful people in the history of the world? Through personal things.
Yeah.
That's connection. That's hard to find. And try to translate it into photography, especially nowadays, with the fucking AI.
Yeah.
And fucking Photoshop. Sucks. But I know a lot of people want reality, a lot of people want connection, a lot of people want to see the wrinkles and the sweat and the shed on their teeth because they want to feel closer to these people that make them laugh. And I think that's my job. And it sucks to do that job.
Because you see it all in, take it all in when you're editing.
Yeah, it takes time. That's why this book is expensive, just so you know.
But I mean, I would say it's worth it.
Yeah. We all need connection, like I just said earlier. And comedians need to be professional as well. Mm. At the very least, it's their job. And their job is to be funny. And our job as an audience, because the audiences have jobs too, is to try to find a balance in the same place with what the comedian is trying to tell us and what we are feeling and with what we have lived through all of our lives, or maybe that day, and trying to find the ignition between all of this to burst into laughter. Mm-hmm. So we all have to live, comedians have to live, we all have to live. And once we have an hour or two to leave our lives behind and to ignite our experiences into a common ground and laugh about it, about the good and the bad. That's what comedy is all about, that ignition, that connection. And for me to be able to show through this book or through my work the lives of those people that are trying to connect with us, it's the most important part of it all, is that you know that these people have bad days. They sometimes don't like their job, although you might think their job is amazing, because there's a lot of pressure into living, so you can take those life experiences and put them down into words and into a 1 hour comedy show. Yeah. And it's hard, and it's raw, and it's painful, but sometimes it is amazing. Sometimes it delivers, sometimes it doesn't. Mm-hmm. But to witness it and to be able to show it to the world, it's what makes it worth it, I think.
Mm-hmm. And, talking about the book, when did the idea start, and how did that concept begin? Who did you talk to about it, and how did from there? How did you? Okay, this is where we started, but also this is how we're going to execute it.
Well, back in 2012, when I began all of this career in documenting stand-up comedy, I didn't know where it was heading. There was no notion of doing a photography show, or very much not even to think about a book about all of this. It just happened because on the first 4 or 5 years, I did an exhibition of these photos. Mm-hmm. I sold 3. No one cared. No one gave a shit. But I did give a shit. So as I went on, I was thinking about doing another one because this thing was growing. The stages were getting bigger. The audience was getting bigger and louder. Mm-hmm. And in 2019, Tio Romero was like, why don't you do a book? And it hit me. Yes, it has to be a book. It has to be available. It has to be in the homes of the fans of this. It has to be at hand, physical. It cannot be a photo exhibition that just a few people could see and just will wander inside a room and, okay, that was nice, thank you. So from 2019 and later on, I was thinking about, okay, this has to be the most raw version of itself. It has to be a decade. It cannot be 7 years, it cannot be 8, it cannot be 11. It has to be a decade. Because a decade matters. People separate music and movies and art in decades or periods. But they always have to be decade. Or most of them are.
Los 80s, the 90s, los 90s,
Los
the 80s.
2000s.
That applies to, I think every country.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, so 2012, 2021, it's a palindrome. It's going to work. It's going to look nice. This is going to be able to be born. And that's what mattered to me.
And how many pictures do you have to go through in order to select the ones that you wanted to be in the book?
250,000.
And do you had to really edit any of the pictures? Or?
The first 4 years.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean...
How many cups of coffee did you drink? Water.
I actually...
Or do you drink coffee?
I don't drink anything but water.
Water, okay.
I've never been drunk in my life.
Never?
Never.
Oh, man.
I've never drank coffee. I quit soda 20 years ago.
Wow.
And I quit juice and tea on December 27, 2023.
That's some commitment right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Nah, I can't say the same.
No, I know, and it didn't cost me. It wasn't hard, actually. Yeah. I'm running on water and tears. That's
water
all
and
I do.
tears. Nice. But you do eat like everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best.
Yeah, that's all that matters. I mean, part of all of this is if you are someone that likes to party and take drugs and stuff like that, you wouldn't be able to do what I did.
Yeah.
So it was pretty logical for me to do this so I could keep my mind busy.
Yeah.
Because my mind is always wandering and I need focus.
Because if you feel like you don't have focus, do you feel like you go crazy, you get frustrated?
Yeah.
Same. I can relate to that.
It happens.
I can't be in the same place for more than 5 hours. I have to move around a little bit. But so how many? What is the process right now? The logistics. Because you created the book and also you're doing it yourself. I mean, you're obviously working with a publishing company, but is someone else besides that helping you, or you're doing it all?
Well, 1450 Ediciones are from Oaxaca, and I hired those guys to bring this to life. But all the decisions were done by me. I decided which artists would collaborate in doing a drawing or a painting or a digital drawing for the book. I decided which comedians would write a text for the book. They sometimes write about either me or them or a show in particular or about the way I eat, which is weird, but they did. And I just wanted to have full control of it, because the 3 ways that I know of in which you can publish a book is that a publishing company buys your concept or your novel or your whatever you have, and they pay for it all, and they give you between 5 and 8% of the profits. But you have to do as they say. You have to do what they tell you to do. You might decide a thing or two depending on the contract, but at the end it's their money.
Yeah.
So you have to do as they say. The other way around it is to find a scholarship or a prize or something in which the government pays for it or a company pays for it, but you have to do as they say. If they want the book to be thinner or smaller, or to get rid of certain people because they don't go along with their company or their ideals, then you're compromising yourself, your vision. And I took the third and most painful way is that I'm going to pay for it all. I paid for the publishing company to edit this. And through the pre-sales, I'm paying for the printing of the book, which is going to be printed here in Mexico. And printing in Mexico costs like 3 times what it would cost to be printed in China.
Yeah.
But I wanted my book to say printed in Mexico, hecho en México, impreso en México.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking about artists in Mexico, about things done in Mexico, about history in Mexico, and for it to be printed in China just wasn't fair, I think.
It would take away the essence. One of you working with a company that wants you, or working for a company at that point that wants you to, oh, this is not really what we want. This is not what you want, but it's what we want you to do. Take that and then also have it printed somewhere else, not Mexico.
Exactly.
The stand-up comedy is in Mexico. All the pictures are in Mexico, so it's a little pricier, I would say, for some people. But hey, if you have this book, called People in New York in your house, or in Austin Urban Art, then very similar to that. But of course, it's about stand-up comedy here in Mexico, and looking at, like, say, what has been the process right now to because right now you're doing it all by yourself. People are contacting you for the pre-sales, and then how many pre-sales do you need to get done in order for it to get printed?
Well, we need 261 for it to be printed into 1,500 copies.
Okay.
So by selling 1/5 on pre-sales, we get all the first edition done. And we are 157 books away from the goal. And everything is through me. I'm actually paying little by little to the printing company, and they are making all the facturas. So everything is en regla. Even if you want to talk to the guys, they would tell you, yeah, he's paying for this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm painfully paying for that shit.
It's a lot of work. A lot of it goes to hand, but I think seeing this is gratifying because it puts all these years into one piece of, valuable.
All these painful years.
Yeah. And how can they reach out to you directly, and shipping and logistics? We had mentioned in the previous episode I didn't record that let's say you're in one place, right, and there's 10 people or 5 people that want to buy the book. You can ship it to a common location.
Yeah, because the thing is that this is a heavy book, 3 kilos y medio. It's huge. It's a big book, and I get it. It's not cheap to ship this bitch, okay? I get it. I buy guitars from time to time. It hurts. I know it. So what I'm doing is that in the meantime, you just pay for the book because we need to get to the goal. Once the book is printed and shipped to me from Mexico City to Querétaro, I will go through each and every one of the buyers and ask them, okay, which shipping company do you want? And what shipping method do you want? Because, we all have Estafeta, DHL, FedEx, and UPS, right? So I will get to either one of them you want, and maybe you can tell me, oh, I live in Tijuana. Oh, okay, I have like 5 buyers in Tijuana. If you all agree, I can send them to one place. Maybe it's one of your houses, maybe it's a comedy club in Tijuana, and you just have to pay for one shipping between the 5 of you, and it's going to be cheaper. Or you can wait for someone from where I live to go to Tijuana and bring the book to you. Because some people have told me that, like, oh, I have family in Querétaro, in Mexico City, and I visit them in Christmas. Okay, I can send the book to them, or if they visit you. I'm open to everything because it it sucks when you want to buy, for example, a vinyl, and you really love the band, and the vinyl is $20 and the shipping is fucking 50.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to pay for a $180 book and pay $100 in shipping.
Yeah, that's was like a lot of. I see that because where I work, it happens a lot. You can see people from international. They pay more sometimes for the product and shipping than anything.
Yeah,
it's a pain in the ass.
And it's not fair. It's not. I have to be fair with everyone.
Yeah,
because I've been on the other side.
Yeah.
I have restrained myself to get things that I would really like to read, to listen, or just to have, just because of the shipping. And it sucks. And I'm sorry.
But through all this work and everything you've done, what do you do to maintain? And because a lot of what we talk about here is mental health too, especially as men. What do you do to maintain and also to take care of mental health? Because this is a lot of work. I mean, putting all this together.
Man, I mean, like I said on the previous, that I'm sorry, it won't be as lovely as I said it. I'm sorry, I was really inspired, but now I'm constipated. I'm sorry. But I just love and I talk and I listen, and right now I'm thinking about this girl that doesn't like me back. It's okay, but I've been in love with this girl for almost 20 years, and just to know that she's out there and we are going to different paths. She inspires me, maybe in a pretty platonic way, but sometimes we need inspiration like that.
Hi, hope you guys enjoyed the recording with Lopez Mendicuti. It was, for me, it was a pleasure having him in our platform. And there's a small part that was cut off, and that's my fault, because with Sony you can only record 30 minutes at a time in 4K. So at the end, where we had mental health part, I didn't realize that didn't record. So that's on me. You can tell me how dumb I am for that, but it's all good. Anyways, I'm in a different setting. At the beginning of this episode, when I recorded, I was in La Roma. Right now, I'm in San Felipe Jesus. It's in Gustavo Madero, in the north part of Mexico City. Basically, conocido como el barrio. And this is where I grew up. This place has a lot of meaning, a lot of memories. And this is where pretty much my grandma was also, her funeral was here at her house when she passed away in 2022. So with this, I want to wish you guys Happy New Year's, and I hope you guys enjoy the time with your family. If you're taking a vacation, if you're celebrating it, if not, keep hustling. Also, I'm gonna leave a small clip of what we did here, and it was basically at El Zócalo, and it was with a band called Austin TV. As I live in Austin, I thought it was a band that is from Austin, but actually they're from here. So check out their music; it's pretty badass. I'll drop a link of their what they're all about. It's great, and also great for working when you're at the office or wherever you're at. So with this, I want to wish you guys the best. Happy New Year, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Año Nuevo. Sorry, and just everyone have good vibes. It's gonna be a great year. So like I said, at the beginning of this episode, échale ganas y pa'lante. Adiós.